This, ladies and gentlemen, is a bandwagon. It is the wagon that carries the band in a parade, be it for a circus or another form of entertainment. But it is also the base of the term the bandwagon effect, referring to people adopting or emulating something or someone successful with the hope that their success will rub off on them or just to be a part of the crowd. And this is Godzilla. Godzilla first appeared in 1954 when Japanese director Ishiro Honda and writer Shigeru Kayama and Takara Murata used the giant rampaging radioactive monster as an analogy of the horrifying, destructive power of the atom bomb, as seen from the viewpoint of a nation that had experienced it firsthand. He is also one of the biggest bandwagons in existence. No, seriously. The motherfucker's been shown to be up to 355 feet tall. That is a lot of lizard. In all seriousness though, Godzilla became an international smash hit, and not surprisingly the bandwagon effect came in full force. Suddenly every film studio in every nation wanted their own giant monster movie, often ignoring the cultural and historical implications that Godzilla represented in favor of the monster itself. Though the Godzilla franchise did do that too, since he just started fighting whatever other monsters showed up in the following movies. But hey, I'm not complaining, cause that means we got moments like this. Awesome! Naturally, some nations were quicker to follow than others. And though it took 7 years, Denmark finally jumped the bandwagon in 1961 when Reptilicus was made. Just look at this motherfucker. Just look at him. That is a goddamn dragon terrorizing Copenhagen. That is awesome. It's one of the worst giant monster movies of all time. Yeah, this movie is pretty infamous for this. And some of you have probably watched the English dubbed version of it. And if you have, you know that this is one of the worst and funniest giant monster movies in existence. What you probably don't know is that the version you've seen is not just a dub. It's actually a complete reshoot using almost all the same actors speaking English, directed by a different director named Sidney Pink. And even though they went through all that trouble, the studio still redubbed all the actors' lines because they didn't like their accents. Accent! Okay, now that's bullcrap. They're just making up excuses now. There has never been a Dane who had the slightest bit of an accent.
Every reasonable leader of this world know precisely what we are playing about. A lot of them have been taken to Greenland. They have seen how the ice is melting at the poles. It's going very quick. They know this is serious.
Just like I said. No accent whatsoever. However, that is not the only thing that got changed. Some scenes were switched around, some were entirely removed or outright replaced, which makes the American and the Danish versions of the movie a fair bit different from each other. And since I just so happen to actually be a Dane and have a cut of the Danish version of the movie right here, I figured I'd give you guys a slightly different Reptilicus experience. For the motherland! The story begins when Sven, who is part of a group of Danish miners, finds something really strange.
Det er blod!
So as it turns out, the miners have dug up bones and a fresh piece of meat from some mysterious creature. They send it to the Paleontological Research Center in Copenhagen, where they've reconstructed the unknown animal's tail, proving that it must have been gigantic. And the scientist's daughters immediately start hitting on Sven, probably in the hopes of digging up another gigantic piece of meat. Oh man, that's Sven. He really can't go anywhere without finding a piece of tail. Also, this guy right here, the gender guy, this guy? Kind of a big deal here in Denmark. This is Dirch Passer, the #1 most beloved comedic and overall actor the country has ever had. Enough so that this movie was at one point actually going to be called Dirch and the Dragon. He serves absolutely no purpose in the film and is only there because Denmark absolutely loves him. That's the only reason he's there. That night, Peter, one of the scientists, sends the janitor home since he'll be working late. But that turns out to be a mistake as he falls asleep after leaving the door to the frozen tail open so that it thaws overnight. Less obvious is the discovery that the tail seems to be regenerating. But never mind the groundbreaking paleontological discovery and the first sign of monster activity in a monster movie. I mean, this is a monster movie. We need a pointless romance subplot. Stat!
Svend, smil nu. Du er meget sødere, når du smiler.
Det er muligt. Jeg kan ikke lade være med at tænke.
Hvis det går ondt, så må du holde op.
Bliver du da aldrig voksen?
Or not, I guess? What? Well, okay, but we need to sell the movie to an American audience. Quick, introduce an American character!
Brigadier General Mark Grayson.
Our little Denmark is not used to be so on.
Tak. Jeg klarer mig udmærket på dansk.
Better than in English, that's for goddamn sure. Yeah, how do you guys like being misrepresented? You starting to feel sorry for making the prince an eye yet?
Det er sgu en rigtig amerikaner. Undskyld, Miss Miller.
Nej, undskyld mig, herr professor, men det er ikke alle amerikanere, der opfører sig på den måde.
God damn it, movie! I'm trying to do a stereotype joke here. Stop being all nuanced and reasonable and all that shit. Damn it! Anyway, the tail seems to not just be regenerating, but also growing at a great rate. And apparently so is Sven and Karen's relationship, since they now suddenly love each other very, very deeply.
Svend, jeg skal nok blive voksen. Jeg vil altid være sammen med dig. Jeg vil altid være, som du vil have mig.
Ja, det er rigtigt, Karen. Du skal blive voksen. Men jeg elsker dig, som du er.
I swear I didn't skip a scene. This is what we got last time.
Hvis det går ondt, så må du holde op.
And this is now. Last time.
Hold op.
Now. Last time.
Hold op.
Now. Last time.
Hold op.
Now. They're gonna be a fun couple. What's that? The movie's not bizarre enough for you yet? Well, here comes a part of the movie you haven't seen before, as Dirk Passer's character reads the news and tells the children about Reptilicus.
Reptilicus.
Hvem er Reptilicus?
Ved I virkelig ikke, hvem Reptilicus er?
Nej.
Nå. Reptilicus er alle tiders fabeldyr. Den går løs på selv de største snabeldyr. Den er vild, spruder ild, skræmmer selv en rød sild.
Kom kun frem, lille pus. Hvem er Reptilicus?
Okay. Here's what you gotta understand, people. This is what Danish movies were like for a long ass time. Up until the 60s and even in part of the 70s, the vast majority of popular Danish films were musical comedies. And Dirk was in almost all of them in one way or another. It was just a staple to have songs in there somewhere, especially if he was in the movie. But most of the time, the songs were these sweet, super charming little numbers that...
På sin ryg, den har en masse store skæl. Kommer den, så skriger alle folk farvel.
Delightful, cute ballads full of excellently written lyrical wordplay and...
Når den går, så danser den en langsom rock.
Funny, mood-setting, heartwarming.
Den der ser min Reptilicus, han får et chok.
Whoa, what? Hey you, back in line! Don't make me show you my Reptilicus! And just like that, this weird-ass musical number is over with absolutely no acknowledgement. I guess now that we've appealed to all the different potential audiences, we can finally concentrate on the monster story again. Okay, now we've appealed to every single possible audience. So now, can we finally get back to the actual monster action? Oh, come on!
Tivoli night, oh what a sight. All Copenhagen is dancing.
I mean, it's not even like this is just a short little mood setter. It keeps fucking going. Come on, you already padded this thing with a romance plot, another song and slapstick comedy. The Godzilla movies would never do this. Oh wait, yes they would. They did it all the goddamn time, so what the hell is my point exactly? All I want is just to see my nation's capital get wrecked by a horrifying, gigantic ancient lizard for no real reason. Is that really too much to ask? Apparently not, cause during a huge storm, Reptilicus finally wakes up and escapes the laboratory. For the next several minutes, all we get are these short glimpses of the monster and sights of destroyed areas, until finally the military steps in and we get our first good look at holy crap! What the hell is that thing? Is this it? Is this really the big scary monster that's threatening the whole country? I mean, jeez, that's a sock puppet with a kite tied to its back. I mean, look at its stately little feet. It looks the way Chris Tucker sounds in a firefight. When shooting and setting the monster afire doesn't work, Reptilicus retreats into the ocean. And, being American, Mark starts bombing the ever-living shit out of it just to lure Reptilicus back out. America! 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 However, he's soon stopped by Connie, our sensible American character, who remembers that the monster can regenerate and realizes that maybe blowing it to pieces is not the best idea.
Forstår du da slet ingenting? Hvis dyret bliver sprængt i små dele, så regenererer det, Mark. Hvert eneste stykke vokser ud til et nyt selvstændigt uhyre.
I'm sure that's not important. Instead, they decide to wait until Reptilicus takes the fight to them. However, it does so in quite a different way than expected. Holy crap! Did the camera crew just follow some kid around while he was playing with his kite? I mean, look at this thing!
Mark. Uhyret flyver.
Just look at this majestic beast go, flapping his... well, I guess just sort of floating in the air, really. As some of you probably know, this scene wasn't actually in the American version because it was deemed too unrealistic. Instead, the American version got this. I guess the studio heads figured that having the movie only figuratively vomit on its audience was just a tiny bit too subtle for the average American moviegoer. Anyway, the army is stationed all over the country, ready to shoot on sight as it finally appears. Oh my god, I was joking when I made those noises! Our heroes realize that Reptilicus is headed back to the aquarium. And because Reptilicus is just not wrecking enough shit, the military destroys its wings so it has to walk. Which gives us this hilarious moment. It sure is a good thing that Sven arrives to lower it again. And it's also a good thing that the crowd is so incredibly good at staying calm during a crisis. As our heroes start getting desperate for a solution, Grayson decides to just bomb the hell out of it again.
De vil sprænge den i 1000 stykker. Er de klar over, at hvert stykke kan blive en ny katastrofe?
Just in case the audience forgot that fact within the last 20 minutes. Finally, Sven and Mark get the idea that they might be able to knock it out by drugging it so the scientists can destroy it somehow. So they whip up an anesthetic, put it in a rocket and fire it into Reptilicus' mouth, and it works perfectly on the first try. Reptilicus is knocked out cold and everybody hugs it out. However, we never actually see the professor come up with a way to destroy the monster on screen, so it just sort of ends and leaves us hanging. It's a sequel hook! Shut up! We're mocking the movie here, not me. So yeah, Wow, there you have it. This movie is really fucking terrible. However, it's also so inept and Reptilicus is such a goofy bastard that it's near impossible not to enjoy it on some level in its badness. And while they didn't get to make a sequel, the monster did still live on for a fair bit of time. A novelization of the movie by Dean Owen was released the same year, and Charlton Comics did create a Reptilicus comic book as well. Although they lost the rights and had to rename it Reptisaurus after just 2 issues, and then had the book cancelled at issue 8. Well, I guess Reptilicus just didn't have a lot of staying power.
Captain Obvious to the rescue! Captain Obvious, he will take the day!
Anyway, Puff the Goofy Dragon here is so wonderful in its badness that it has become a great cult classic, and if you happen to be into hilariously awful monster movies, then this is definitely worth giving a shot. Get it? Giving it a shot? Like in the movie? Like they beat Reptilicus by giving it a shot, which in that context means putting it to sleep, but in this context would mean giving it a chance, but if you give it a chance, you might find it so boring you fall asleep. So it's like this double play on words, and I'm like, okay. So maybe that wasn't my best joke. God damn it! Hi there, guys, and thanks for watching me tear into this piece of Danish film history called Reptilicus. In case you haven't gotten enough of hearing me talking about giant monsters, there's a review of the newest Godzilla movie right over there. And if you want some more fun and jokes and stuff, there's another episode of Fiction Addiction right there. You really can't lose. Remember, you can also like me on Facebook and follow me on Twitter. And if you press that subscribe button up there, you'll get the new videos delivered right to you when they're done. It's a great deal. Well, I'll see you guys later.